While I expected to be back in front of you guys today for the Chicago Bulls doing something, little did I know that the Chicago Bulls would reinvigorate a trauma in all Bulls fans as they have now traded a second-round pick for cash considerations. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go to get into this content for today, y'all. The Chicago Bulls have just made a trade, but no, it's not the trade. It's not the trade that you guys would have wanted to see. It's not the trade that Bulls fans are going to look at and say, hey, the Bulls are finally did something. The Chicago Bulls have moved back from number 45 in the second round all the way down 10 spots for number 55 in cash considerations. They have traded this pick to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I'm not even worried about it being the Lakers, but with as many center prospects that are on the board here, and the fact that the Lakers need a center, the Bulls also need a center. If the Lakers walk away, one of these great centers in this draft, or in the second round, one of the good centers in the second round, I'm going to be even more pissed about this. But what is this show again? Mark Eversley got in front of us yesterday after the draft and basically told us that they believe in internal development. And while we knew that the Bulls didn't have a lot of open roster spots, especially with their second round pick, now this goes to show that the Bulls are really looking at draft and stash, or they may still be looking to trade all the way out of. Keep in mind, in this draft, there's only 59 picks, not the normal 60, because the team lost a pick. So that means that the Bulls now have moved from 45, right in the middle, dead middle of the second round, to all the way only 4 spots above the last pick in this draft overall for cash considerations. Cash considerations. This is where the front office shows no ability to be creative, no forward thinking, because there are some really good players in the second round still left in this draft. And more importantly, the Bulls should have been looking to trade up rather than sell a pick outright for cash considerations and moving down 10 spots. I'm sorry. It's stupidity at its highest level. Now, this isn't about Noah SNU. I think that that's a perfectly fine, good pick. I want to be clear here. But I look at this and say, in most drafts, I would agree with this. In most drafts, I would say, all right, cool. It is what it is. It's the second round. But you're talking about players that have legitimately contributed to high-level basketball teams at college that are going to be in the second round around this place. Maxime Reynaud, Rasheer Fleming, Noah Pinda, Adu Thero, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Alex Tui, Johnny Broom, Rocco Zakarski, Tyrese Proctor, Sion James, Cam Jones, Kobe Bria. Look, I'm almost at where the Bulls would have picked at. Now there's a chance that all those guys would have been off the board. Dink Pate, a guy that I actually covered for you guys at 6'6", a really good player. This is where the Chicago Bulls continue to just put themselves behind the 8 ball at a time where a lot of teams are looking to make moves to drastically change their team and move forward progressively. The Bulls are looking to keep things maintained the same. And I'm going to throw Von under the bus here. When this trade went down, Von messaged in the Discord and said, hey, this is probably a ploy to keep THT. And I wanted to fight back and say no, but that may legitimately be what this is. This may be to be able to keep THT on the roster, not keep Trey Jones, who they probably should keep on the roster, but THT. At a cost-controlled veteran minimum contract, it's probably going to be THT that they end up bringing back with this open roster spot that they're going to stash a player over with. This is the problem with what the Bulls do. And even if they did want to trade this pick, right? The Bulls remove their ability to get more back by when your GM on a press conference says, oh yeah, we're either going to look to draft and stash or we're going to try to get out the second round entirely. At what point is that good business? At what point is that good business making? So even if you did want to trade out, if you didn't believe in any of the players in the second round and you looked at it and said, yeah, we're probably going to try to get out the second round, why would you broadcast that and put yourself behind an opportunity to move off of the Bulls were a team that traded 2 second-round picks to take a player in the second round and Julian Phillips? Why would you remove your ability to negotiate and put yourself in a position to maybe do something like that? At bare minimum. At bare minimum, wait till you get to there to see who's going to fall. What if it is a Johnny Broome who could be a consummate role player at the NBA level? And the team calls and like, hey, we really want Johnny Broome because we feel he can fill in our bench. Well, the Bulls have already signified that they're going to try to get rid of the pick, so now you're not going to get much back for it. Cash considerations in the middle of the time where you're trying to build this team and you're asking for trust from your fan base. And there are players here that legitimately, even if they couldn't help you right away at the NBA level, you have a G League team that you have said that you want to use into actually developing players to be able to be Chicago Bulls later down the road. You have an entire G League system there that Billy Donovan's hickhead-ass son is down there coaching. So what are we doing? This is such a again, nothing to do with Noah Essingue. This is nothing to do with what they did in the first round. This is nothing to do with that. But at every level, business-wise, if you're trying to run a basketball team, this has been dumb business. If the talent that's still on the board, you didn't even wait to see who had a possibility of falling for you and how they could fit with you or how you could develop them. B, you decided to announce that you were looking to potentially get completely out of the second round, taking away a lot of the negotiating power that you had when you already don't have a lot with second round picks, but a little bit that you could have you could have easily said, oh, well, we feel like there's some really good talent in the second round that could fall to us. We're really excited about getting to the second round of the draft. That way, when your draft pick comes in, teams are hearing, hey, the Bulls actually wanted to keep this pick. All right, bet, offer them 2 second rounds picks. Instead, you get to move 10 spots down and cash considerations because you decided to broadcast that this is what you wanted to do. This is stupid business by every imagination, every stretch of what you can talk about business-wise. This was stupidity at its finest by the Chicago Bulls yet again, and they continue to do this at a time where you're asking for faith from the fan base, patience from the fan base. You want patience for us? You can't even be patient enough to see in a deep draft who falls to you in the second round. You can't ask for something that you are not rewarding back into your fan base. Again, want to be clear here, I like the Noah Essingue pick. I love that pick, actually. The more and more that I watch the kid, the more and more I see the vision of him and Modest together, I actually like the pick. So this has nothing to do with that. This has to do with this front office not understanding how to operate like a business at all. They just do not operate like smart front offices because they're not smart. If Noah ends up working out, it's not going to be because I'm going to trust that they just had some amazing scouting department. It's going to be because they got lucky yet again. And that's what this front office has put this Bulls fan base into the point that anytime they do something good, it's just viewed as luck. How many people have talked about the Modest Bucelis draft, us drafting him, and be like, well, yeah, they got lucky because he fell to them, so of course they were going to take him. I don't know. For all I know, they could have been calling around teams and be like, hey, can we move up? Like, or who you guys got on your board? Anything. But no, you're not going to trust that because, again, this front office continues to just do stuff stupidly. So, hey, that's what it is. The Bulls get cash considerations. Anybody who was hoping for any draft pick in the second round, you might as well go ahead. They're going to end up probably taking Victor Landkin out of Clemson or no, you know what? Pat called it. Vadislir Golden out of Michigan. That's probably going to end up being the pick. 7-foot guy, and they could draft over in the G League, or stash over in the G League. But let me know what you guys think on that down below. You can follow us at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'll see you guys later on tonight for the draft. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.